Thank you all as the media. The state of Indiana is just such a passionate state for basketball in general, and it just means a lot. You guys have done a great job telling their stories, and what a great energy crowd out there, so appreciate you all being here. Terry Morin is an excellent coach, and she has a really good team, and I thought I've watched all their games up to this point. I thought this was they really played well today. Credit to them. So I'm really impressed with the job that they did. But I was also really impressed with our team. I've been really challenging them recently to be willing to win ugly, to be willing to win in a gritty way and not a pretty way. And, this wasn't our best day, but I thought the way they responded to adversity and willing to just win ugly, I'm impressed with their growth and maturity in that area.
Cori, what do you feel like the difference was for you guys defensively in the second quarter? Indiana had some momentum coming out of the first quarter, and I don't think they scored a field goal until a minute to go. That was our best, defensive, obviously stand. I think we held them for almost 6 minutes without a field goal. And, I think that we really just got into a rhythm of what they were trying to do. And, Lauren just is really difficult. She's able to switch out and be mobile laterally when we need her to, but also she's the two things that they really make a living on are their shuffle picks and back picks and the three-point shot. And we were able to go over the top and funnel everything, and Lauren was able to help on all those picks, and I think we just got into a really good rhythm of forcing them into really difficult shots late into the shot clock. But we had 6 kills in the first half, and a kill is 3 stops in a row, and we didn't get any in the second half. So credit to them. I thought they were really hunting for their shots, and they made it a lot more difficult for us in the second half.
Lauren, they established yourself really early with 6 quick points. Obviously, the doubles and triples kept coming from Indiana. Just how were you able to adjust to what they knew they were going to throw at you defensively?
Yeah, Coach Cori and I were talking about how in the first half I had a few possessions where I struggled figuring out the double team and I had some turnovers. But I think, going back to the locker room, just figuring out how I can be patient in that and just finding my teammates. And they do a really good job of just cutting off of me. And I thought in the second half I did a better job of finding them when I needed to. But I think it's just a read, and I think it's just me being patient.
Cori, when Terry was in here, she mentioned how she felt like you guys slowed them down quite a bit and didn't let them get out in transition. I guess coming into this game, what parts of the IU offense did you want to stop, and was that like an emphasis?
Yeah, it's really simply what we said earlier is that we wanted them to chase them off the three-point line, because not only are they good at shooting threes, but it gets their crowd going and their momentum, and they're able to set sort of their defense the way they want it. And then those all of those shuffle picks and back picks that they're able to cuts towards the basket. I was really impressed with how they found different players on their cuts, and so those were the two things that we were able to stop. When we did that, then they went a little bit more to middle ball screens and trying to get Lauren to step out and to step behind us when we switched, and they did some good things that way, but we didn't think they could hit enough of those shots to beat us as long as we took away the cuts and the threes.
Lauren, seemed like really physical game between you and then Meister and Strickland on you down low. How would you say this game compared physically to kind of what you've experienced over the past couple of years?
Yeah, they were obviously working really hard. I think the second half I just focused on trying to get as deep as I possibly could on my seals, and I thought they were doing a really good job of just pushing me out as much as they could. But yeah, it definitely was a physical game today, but I think we figured out how to work around it. So.
Yeah, Lauren, how is it when teams kind of approach defending you? Terry said they threw everything that they had in terms of like different coverages and, obviously trying different double teams. How challenging is that every game to probably face something new and face kind of a team scheming against you? How challenging is that on a nightly basis?
Yeah, I mean, we work on it every single day in practice, so it's nothing new, honestly, to me. I've been dealing with it for a lot of my basketball career, actually. So I think, the coaches do a really good job of just putting me in those tough situations in practice. So when it comes to these type of games, it's just normal. But again, like I said, I think my teammates do a really good job of just finding me when they need to and cutting off of me, so it makes my life a lot easier. So.
Kiki, your first Big Ten game away from the West Coast, obviously a new league, new conference, new venues. Just what do you think coming in here for the first time?
Yeah, this was definitely one of the places that I was very excited to come to and play at. Assembly Hall, obviously a super historical basketball arena. And, you know, when we came out there for warm-ups and when the game started, it was just like electric environment and the energy was great. So it was a ton of fun. And I think sometimes, even more so than at home, it's sometimes fun to play on the road in front of a ton of fans who aren't rooting for you. But, you know, it's always good to get that win. But I had a great time here.
Kiki, you had that matchup with Chloe Moore McNeil, who's a pretty experienced and tough perimeter defender. What's your approach when you're kind of facing someone who's like that on the perimeter?
Yeah, she's a great defender. Definitely one of the better ones that I've faced this season. I mean, I think her length and her ability to like really move on the perimeter, get through screens and all that was definitely a tough matchup. Watch the film and learn from it. But yeah, she's a great defender.
I see we have Sue Faber on the Zoom. Sue, if you've got a couple questions.
I think the reality for us, Sue, is that we really respect Indiana the way they box out. We knew we were never going to get offensive rebounds on our first, sort of attack to crash the boards. And so credit to them. It required a better effort. We didn't get the percentages quite to the level that we're used to or that we want to, but I thought, especially in the first half, we got some really critical just sort of tips, and then we were able to run those down. So I thought we gave good effort on the boards.
That's great. And then I guess just one more. What are you going to do to prepare for the next matchup?
Well, I think that, every time we just try to look at it a 1-0 situation. We're going to watch the film tonight and prepare, and then go up and attack another really good team in Purdue and see what we are. But it really never changes for us. What does this next challenge require of us, and how do we give and grow to each other every single game? And if we can stay consistent with that, we'll be just fine.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, you got to play here a few years ago. Now you get to come in as first time as a Big Ten conference foe. Obviously, you're going to make more trips here. Did you do anything different than you did a couple years ago in preparing?
No, and we had some adversity, honestly, that was sort of out of our control. And obviously we came in, last night. I think I was talking to our director of operations today. I think there's going to be a learning curve with all of these things, and trying to learn, like, did we like when we came in? Next time, do we want to adjust that? Would we come in 2 days before? But that creates a really long road trip. And so, but obviously with a noon game, the noon tip isn't tough, except because we practice at 9 a.m. every single day, but you have to get up so much earlier for your pregame meal and for, all the other things. And so, I think we're going to have to evaluate that every single trip and just try to see how did our team respond and find that rhythm. I think it's going to be an adventure, and I think it's going to be we're going to have to really just go, hey, how was this for us? And each year try to make little small pivots. We're thrilled to be in the Big Ten, and we want to make this a great experience for our players, but also just the game environment in general. We want to grow our game. No, well, we had a little bus transportation problem today. Well, we wondered for a second, honestly. So we thought it was 6 minutes, ended up being about 45 minutes. So yes. But you got to, we have a phrase in our program that you have to choose to get to neutral all the time. And bottom line is that's what we kept saying as we got off the bus is we're going to choose neutral. What's our next right step? Not getting in our way.
Anything else?
All right, appreciate you guys being here. Thank you.